Hey fam, it's Raven your GS and thank you for locking into another Cyber Nerd show. Before we get started with the madness, if you really enjoy our shows, go ahead and subscribe on iTunes, give us a mad review and throw in a 5-star rating if you really enjoy our content and banter. It really helps more nerds finding us easier and quicker. Other than that, enjoy the show.
I love you all, and my parting word, of course, is Excelsior!
We are live.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're locked into a TCM podcast.
It's Mr. Blitz Tech.
We are live.
Guys, I'm Joe, 1/3 of the Cyber Nerds.
And I'm Raven your GS.
I'm Sam, Mr. Blitz Tech.
And today it's a special one. It's been a special one for a moment, but today, this definitely going to go down in history as one of the most special and important dates in our podcast, in our lives, everything, man, everything Cyber Nerds, man. What you man saying?
Man's out here. Out here, innit? Man's out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited to be on the podcast.
As usual.
Hey, I like these podcasts. Yeah.
I love it. Sam, what are you saying?
It's blitz outside, isn't it? It's blitz outside.
What? Wait, what?
It's cold. It's getting to that time of year.
Fam, windows. What are we talking about right now?
It's cold outside, isn't it? It's cold.
This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. But look, never mind, Sam. All right. So today, we're celebrating. I'm actually, and I hope you guys are with me on this one, but I'm super happy today. Not simply because we are celebrating the life of my guy, Mr. Stan Lee. Yeah, so obviously Stan Lee passed away, unfortunately. Man has left a humongous body of work for generations before him and generations to come. So, boy, gotta love the man for that. All right, cool. He has definitely, and I hope you guys share the same thing as me. I don't want to hear no sob story today. I don't want to hear no one that, I'm sad and this and that, simply because this man has lived a great life. He has empowered so many people. Thanks to him, and I believe we are here, the Cyber Nerds exist. He's part of that as well. And yeah, man, it's been a big week, and everybody's been sharing mad love, retweeting pictures, showing mad love to Stan the man. Is someone gonna say something, or are we just having like a moment of silence for Mr. Lee?
Oh, you're running the thing, innit? You get me? Like, you know
brother, you better quiet. You better quiet. Like I thought it was a moment of silence kind of thing, bro.
If we need a moment of silence, we can do that. That's up to you. Fam.
Might have been.
Sure thing, you get me?
It might have been.
Listen, nah. We don't. Listen, I'm telling you, we're celebrating. We don't need no moment of silence, because you know what? Yeah. We're going to be doing this thing with him forever, innit? Because regardless whether we're watching a movie, reading the comic books, or whatever we're doing within our little world, my guy's still always going to be here, innit? So to me, it's not really a departure. It's only in physical form, innit? So we don't need a moment of silence, because, man, my guy's going to be here forever, innit? That's just where it is, fam. All right, cool. So look. Before we get started today, I'm just going to run through some bit of information about Mr. Lee, his life, work, and where he started and whatnot. Then I'm going to take you guys a bit of facts, and then we're going to jump into our topics today. And of course, it's all based around Mr. Lee's body of work. All right, cool. So for those who don't know, Stan Lee, born Stanley Martin Lieber. Was an American comic book writer, editor, and publisher. He was the editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics, and later its publisher and chairman, leading the expansion from a small division of a publishing house to a large multimedia corporation, which, yeah, man, like Marvel's leading everything in life these days, man. Obviously, you know, merging with Disney behind it, but you know, he's one of the forces driven behind it. Okay, all right. So in collaboration with several artists, particularly Jack Kirby, which we all know, Steve Ditko as well, he co-created fictional characters including Spider-Man, which is the most celebrated character, superhero of all time, the Hulk, Doctor Strange, the Fantastic Four, Daredevil, Black Panther, and the X-Men, which again, that I believe that is the most celebrated team when it comes to superheroes, isn't it? Someone, you know, do feel free to jump in and you know, disagree with me on that one. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Anyone want to add a bit of that into that?
Man came with the word Excelsior, innit? I want to know where he came out with that word with. Like,
what do you mean?
Like, is that even in the dictionary before you started saying it?
Excelsior. It's a Latin word.
No? Oh, for what? Let me know.
It's up and beyond. Someone fact check that for me, but I believe that's exactly what that means, fam.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, cool. So I went online and found some facts about him, because obviously, we all know him around comics characters and comic books, but I went to see a bit more about him, and I actually found 10 interesting facts about him. Did you man know that his wife was also his barber?
No.
Yeah, fam. Yeah, that's actually pretty deep, because as a man, like, our barber is, like, you know, very, very important. So I guess, you know, that's how important his wife was. Not just a wife, but like a barber's off, fam. That is a lot. You must hold a lot of weight, fam, if you're someone's barber, innit?
I don't know about that, innit? Like, in the ends, your barber means a lot to you.
Yeah, fam.
In the ends.
Yeah.
I just don't know about certain other places, you get what I'm saying? But shout out to Stanley's wife for, you know what I'm saying, chopping man up.
Cool. So also his confidence came from his mother, which is actually something that I'm pretty sure a lot of us can relate to. Now, there's one that's actually, I find it quite interesting, that Stanley used to write obituaries.
Oh, well, he's quite a good writer, so I'm pretty sure he made him exciting.
Do you know what? Yeah, like something like that it does surprise me, but I feel like it's understandable where you've gone from writing something so bleak to then flipping it around, and you make superheroes, you make characters that can't ever be killed or don't ever die. Do you know what I'm saying? And then that goes on to inspire millions and millions of people. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's quite interesting. But like, you know how they always say, like, comedians have a very dark side. True. I feel like that is what that writing obituaries was for Stan Lee. Like, do you know, it was just the other side of it.
And he wasn't just for anyone. He was actually, for celebrities in New York. And he eventually quit because he said it was too depressing for him.
Yeah, it makes sense. And then he made superheroes after that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's exactly what I'm saying.
And speaking of superheroes, his first big break was Captain America, which is surprisingly, I couldn't stand Captain America in the comics books. You know, like, the first I got to read him first, and I was like, man, this guy pisses me right off, fam.
But one thing,
it makes sense though, innit? Like, man's in America. It was at a time during the war and stuff, so for him to be making someone that could be like celebrating and stuff, it just makes like perfect sense. Man made, you know, hero of America.
Yeah, I mean, look, I understand him, like Captain America being the first one he started with, but I think Captain America, I think for us generally, being British and that, or European, or from the other side of the world, innit? Like, I feel like it's just hard for us to relate to Captain America when you're a lot younger. Do you know what I'm saying? Because this dude's called Captain somewhere else, basically. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, fam, you're not our captain, innit? So, like, what? Like, why would anyone pay interest to you. And I feel like that's what plays into a part of you actually hating him so much. Not just besides him being like quite Boy Scoutish and boring.
I think that was the most annoying thing. Oh no, you can't say these things and you can't do this and you can't. If I'm shut, yeah, man, innit?
But
that's just how I felt.
Shout out to Chris. Shout out to man like Chris. What's his name? Evans.
Cool.
For turning that whole thing around, didn't it? Get me?
And speaking of Captain America, the next fact is that he wrote training films for the army with Dr. Seuss.
Is that why? Like now they do the Captain America. What is it? You know, in the movies now, when the kids are in PE, they've got Captain America doing like the whole instruction manual. Like, is that what that derives from? That'd be sick if it was. Like, where did they get that idea? Like, Captain America is going to be the guy who goes, "You need to be fit. Do 10 sit-ups a day." Like, where did that idea come from?
I tell you what, I don't know where that came from. But all I know, if I was a kid in school, I'd be the first guy to say, "Hey fam, shut your mouth, fam. Hey, what are you talking about? Do some push-ups, fam." But yeah, all right, cool. So going on to the next one, the next fact is that he defined the Comics Code Authority with an anti-drug comic. So in 1971, Lee received a letter from the Department of Health, Education and Welfare asking him to put anti-drug message in one of his comic books. He came up with a Spider-Man story that involved his best friend Harry abusing pills because of a breakup. The CGA would not approve of the story with Day Seal because of the mention of drugs, but Lee convinced his publisher, Martin Goodman, to run the comic anyway. Are we surprised for this? That he overturned?
No, I think like Stan Lee was always on this stuff, do you know what I'm saying? He was a really positive figure, do you know what I'm saying? And I think through his art and his work, he was always trying to send positive messages in it. So like, it just sounds like stuff that is on target for him. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, makes sense.
Yeah. So this one's actually quite interesting as well. Like all these facts about this guy it seems to amaze me. But an issue at the printers turned the Hulk green. The character was supposedly to be grey, but according to Lee, the printer had a hard time keeping the colour consistent. So as of issue 2, Lee wrote with no explanation, he turned green.
I actually knew about this one, and then this is why they brought in like Grey Hulk later. Do you know what I'm saying? To just because that's how he had started, and they wanted him to have a version of Hulk which was great. But I did hear about that, fam. But come on, man, this was back in what, like 1671, innit? Like when they didn't have paper and that, so it made sense that the printer couldn't keep the thing grey, fam.
See, I think the Force has something to do with that, fam. Like there's certain things, you know, like sometimes like we'd be in the office, we'd be chopping things up, and something that we didn't plan to, something goes completely opposite of what we want, and it actually ends up working out. I think that's just a Force, fam. That's just where it's meant to be. All right, cool. Another one is his wife destroyed his prized typewriter, which he used to write the first issues for characters including Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four. And according to him, his comment to this was that it happened before eBay. Too bad, I could have auctioned the parts and made a mint.
I'm not going to comment on this one, innit? Just because of certain things in the world in 2018, you get me? But things break. Things break.
I mean, it was during an argument, and she just smashed the thing up, innit?
That was obvious, isn't it? Why would she go for his typewriter? His prized typewriter.
You know what? Yeah, I can only wonder what he did to deserve that, fam. You must have been on some crud, fam. You must have been on some crud for your wife to do that, fam. Come on, G.
Imagine your wife going for your PC.
The cyber nerds.
Wait.
Disclaimer.
Wait. Fam, how are we going to get a disclaimer on the Tubi podcast to Stan Lee?
Fam, the cyber nerds are not promoting, or do we believe that Stan Lee was ever on crud? Ever. The cyber. I'm going to repeat this one. The Cyberners do not believe or are promoting that Stanley was ever on crud ever. All right, yeah, let's keep going, innit?
Well, I think Sam was just saying something before that. Before we got the disclaimer.
Can you imagine like your wife going for your PC though?
What, my PC?
Like there's a notification, you guys are arguing. Yeah, like going for that. Like she picks it up.
Oh, she picks it up and she dashes it.
I'm about to.
But you know what? Yeah,
I don't know.
I hear what you're saying on that. Yeah, but at the same time, she was his barber, innit? Like you gotta think the levels of commitment that's going on between those two, fam. It's not just like a love story, innit? Like it's deeper than that, fam. Yeah.
So she goes for your PC and then she goes, oh, let me give you a haircut too. So she goes for your hair as well. And I don't know, fam.
I just, let me just keep this one to myself before I get another disclaimer.
Listen, I didn't want to have to disclaimer myself. That's why I said I'm just taking a whole no comment on this whole typewriter and wife thing.
Yeah, but you know me, I don't hold it back, fam. Sometimes it just, it is what it is. Someone's got to do it.
I don't need our YouTube channel getting shut down before we hit 30,000 subscribers. So I'm just going to keep it quiet.
All right, and second to last, a fire destroyed his interviews and lectures. So when he moved his family to Los Angeles, he set up a studio where he stored videotapes of his talks and interviews, along with commissioned bust of his wife. A building was lost to the blaze that the fire department believed was arson, but no one was ever charged with the crime. See, this is a huge crime, bruv. Like, because we're talking about interviews and lectures, fam. Do you know what that kind of stuff can do for the new generation in 2018? Because these kids, they need that type sort of stuff, They need that in their lives, fam.
Bro, I back that 1,000%. Do you know what's mad, yeah? Man heard, so basically, if you haven't seen it already, like we dropped a tribute video to Stan Lee on Twitter, on all of our social media, and it's got a voiceover of Stan Lee talking for about 2 minutes. Flames,
fam,
bruv. Like I don't think people understand. Like this guy made some comic book characters, but this guy also just spat knowledge, bruv. Like that, the stuff that he says, is just stuff that first I'd already believed anyway, but it's mad when you're like, rah, this guy was on this stuff 60 years ago, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? And then it doesn't surprise me, like, why someone like him has had an impact on so many generations and so many people, fam. It was mad, bruv. I watched that video maybe like 30-40 times, fam. It was mad, bruv.
Who dropped that video? Was that who was it? Who dropped that video? Because I watched that video yesterday, I think like a few seconds after being posted, and I was like, man, who's posted trying to make me cry and stuff, man?
The fam, you know what, we got this person, this young social media.
Oh, okay.
This young social media connoisseur out here, do you know what I'm saying? Helping us out with some stuff, you get me? And she, bruv, she peppered up the ting, fam.
Alright, she's actually here today, bruv.
Is she here?
Yeah,
is she in the building?
She's in the building. She flew all the way from the US. Was it North Carolina?
Oh, look, no respect for your state.
Is it North Carolina or is it South Carolina?
No respect for your state. It's from South Carolina.
South Carolina. I apologize. But yeah, man. Are we allowed to disclose names?
I don't know if we're allowed to disclose names. That's why
I don't know. Like, I don't know how people from South Carolina move in. And I'm just from East London, fam. So no. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it quiet. All right, then, cool. We're not disclosing names.
Shout out to all the TCM fam in the building, outside the building, around the building, everywhere, wherever you're sat. Shout out to you. Let me just take a second to shout out the Patreons too.
Go on.
Shout out the Patreons and everyone that makes all of this stuff possible. You guys do not understand. You are the driving force of this bus. You are making us get down the street, fam. You are keeping gas in the petrol tank. You are doing the thing. You understand? We appreciate you guys, getting me.
Oh, speaking of that, of driving, apparently some of them are actually paying on our streams just for Sam to appear, bro.
Fam,
they're paying for appearances, fam, now.
Do you know what, when you're part of a team, but you never show up,
Mart,
like you were never there. This is what the fam will do.
This is what
the fam are so dedicated to us, so dedicated to the three of us. They're like,
Jesus.
look, Joe and Raven are here, I'm gonna keep donating until Sam shows up.
Wow.
Do you know what I'm saying? And it's mad.
They might regret that, because
Why would they regret that?
Yeah.
Why don't you just show up?
I'm gonna show up. That's what I mean. I'm gonna show up, and when I do, I don't know.
But like,
I might make a t-shirt about that.
I feel like no one here sounds convinced of Sam.
No, you don't. That's what I mean. You don't have
No one's
to
convinced
until I do it, innit?
We don't believe you.
Yeah, you don't
need
have
more
to.
people.
Hey, you don't have to. You don't have to. I'm just gonna show up one day, innit? Unannounced as well. Just boom. Hey guys, what's going on? Wear a t-shirt and everything. Who's Sam?
T-shirt. It's like that.
Yeah, it's like that.
All right, cool. Apparently, you have your own hashtag as well.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
But, so wait. How does that work? Yeah, me and Joe, we stream, we show up, we put in mad hours, but you get donations for appearances and your own hashtag. I need to have a word with the family because that ain't right. That ain't right, fam. That ain't right.
I feel like, do you know what it is, yeah? Because he's not there physically, we need these substitutes. Like, we need a t-shirt with Sam's face on it because he's not going to be there. So someone could just wear it. And he's not going to be on Twitter, so we'll just use the hashtag Who's Sam. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, but it's a whole thing right now, you get me? You'll put it out into the interwebs, fam. Hashtag Who's Sam.
That's what happens.
All right, cool. And we were speaking of the destroyed interviews and lectures. So after these facts, I'm gonna play something that I found that is just beautiful. All right, but going on to the last fact, and obviously it's something that everybody's so familiar with these days. And his favorite Marvel film cameo was based on from one of his comic books. Beginning of the first Spider-Man film in 2002, Stan Lee has made quick cameos in Marvel films as a service to the fans. He said that his appearance in Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer in 2007 was inspired by the story of Reed and Sue Richards' wedding in Fantastic Four Annual Volume 1, Number 3, in which he and writer Jack Kirby attempt to crash the ceremony. How sick.
Do you know what's sick about that? Yeah. So, mate, do you guys remember this cameo?
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorites.
So, what happens in the cameo is Stan Lee himself is trying to get to the wedding of Sue and Reed Richards, and they're like, no, you can't come in. And he's like, yo, I'm Stan Lee, and they ice man. And I'm like, that's such a peak and meta cameo. It's mad, bruv. It's mad. It's one of the best ones for sure, right?
It is one of the best ones, yeah.
Didn't make my top 3 list.
Eesh.
But it's mad.
All right, cool. So before we jump onto our topics, I just got a minute video to play. Obviously, you guys are gonna hear the sound, but I found this quite interesting to listen to. And man, like it just shows that some people are walking on this earth. They're just way ahead of their time, innit? And man, just gotta appreciate what Stan Lee, and obviously not just him, but he's I know he's like, the main figure, the main face when we talk about this, but him and his team who've been doing this for a long time. So here you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this.
Hi, heroes. This is Stan Lee coming at you. Want you to know, Marvel has always been and always will be a reflection of the world right outside our window. That world may change and evolve, but the one thing that will never change is the way we tell our stories of heroism. Those stories have room for everyone, regardless of their race, gender, religion, or color of their skin. The only things we don't have room for are hatred, intolerance, and bigotry. That man next to you, he's your brother. That woman over there, she's your sister. And that kid walking by, hey, who knows? He may have the proportionate strength of a spider.
Jesus.
We're all part of one big family, the human family, and we all come together in the body of Marvel. And you're part of that family. You're part of the Marvel universe that moves ever upward and onward to greater glory. In other words, Excelsior.
There you go. So I hope now you know the meaning of it, Sam.
Yeah, I certainly do.
Cool. Now, before I wanted to jump on these topics, obviously just based on that story, not story but video, it's actually it's funny to have to listen to that after he passed away. But a few years ago we had this conversation about, like, you know, when we were talking about the difference between Marvel and DC, and one of the things that we said amongst ourselves is like where Marvel stands, you know what I mean, like where they stand with social life, politics, all the issues that we go through as human beings. And obviously fast forward into 2018, where we still have, you know, a lot of issues out there, circulating throughout the whole social media. I don't need to be here name dropping what they are, but that just shows like how this man is just, and not just him but his team, was just out there doing the work of a lot of leaders that through a different medium. What's your take on that, guys?
I feel like comics have always been that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, comics have always been a vehicle to like express your views and your feelings on you know what I'm saying, on reality. Do you know what I'm saying? And just like you said in the soundbite, that like Marvel's a reflection of what's going on outside, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, these mutants are mutants in this comic book, but there's people who are being treated or perceived to be mutants in the real world. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? And he's just trying to get across that like it don't matter. Like, none of this stuff matters, innit? Like, how tall you are, how short you are, do you know what I'm saying, how much you weigh, all of that don't matter. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just about being a human being, like loving each other and that. And I just feel like this is what's always been done through comic books, and I feel like Stan Lee has been on job like with this forever. And it's sad that like in 2018, like certain aspects of society are still just not as on point as this guy who is 95 years old. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, some of it don't make sense.
And funny enough, like the younger generation feels like they're 95 years old, and he seems to be the one who's from this generation, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it just shows things are backwards. But Sam, what's your take on this, man?
That's what's so crazy, because like you're saying, someone that's 95 years old, coming from that time, I'm guessing things would have been a bit more like divided, so to speak, rather than in this time where everyone keeps going on about it, everyone keeps going on about all these groups here, there and everywhere. And here you got this guy saying we're all one big family. Like, he created all these stories, and if you look at all the Marvel stories, obviously that was a gateway to show that everyone's got their own kind of stuff that they're going through, but then they like, you all like see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I don't know, like all this division and stuff is a bit crazy. And obviously him saying doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what you do, like we're all just that one, like there's one human race in it. So keep 100.
And last but not least, I just want to just drop it, the fact that the way us, the cyber nerds, we are, like, because we're all about the community. So you know you guys that are on the channel, social media with us, we always interact with us, and I think that actually got passed on to us three, because the way we just are, like we just want to interact and be with everyone. Really, we don't want to just do this channel and kind of like be secluded. We literally want everyone to be part of the Cyber Nerds. So I actually find that a pretty cool thing that he's talking about these things being one big family, and that's what we want.
Fam, and the thing is, that's what I was out when the soundbite's playing. I'm thinking about, I'm like, raw, like that could actually just be like the mission statement of the Cyber Nerds, innit? I was thinking, I was just like, bruv, like this is so us, innit? It's like we wasn't three guys who came together and was like, oh, we're gonna make a YouTube channel so everyone could just look at us on a pedestal and be like, oh, these guys are great. Like it's all about the community, it's all about the fam. Do you know what I'm saying? Like this wouldn't work for us if we couldn't interact with, do you know what I'm saying, people who watch our videos, people who come on our live streams. You get what I'm saying? Like, man started this because we didn't have enough people to talk about nerdy stuff with, because people would look at man and be like, he's 6'6", dark skin, he probably never read a Spider-Man comic. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that was the driving force of the Cyber Nerds, or the community moves conversation Facebook group that we made in 2013 that's now something else. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so bruv, it touches a very sincere place in man's heart, bruv. Get me?
For sure. And with that, we're gonna go off to our topics for this podcast this week. Podcast where we're celebrating the life and work of Stan Lee, who still lives on, in it. Like me personally, I'm the type where it's like, you don't need to be physically to be alive, innit? Like that's just me. That's just the way I see things in life, innit? So my guy is still here, still driving, and obviously, still driving the Cyberners, bro, innit? Like, because that man paved the pathway for us and everybody else to be here. All right, cool. Before we get started, anyone else want to add anything else? No,
I'm good.
We good. All right then. So my first question to you guys would be, what is your first memories of his work, Stan Lee's work?
I think this is kind of crazy because I remember watching like the Incredible Hulk movies and stuff, and seeing some videos today. I'm like, oh right, that was Stan Lee. Like, have you guys ever seen Stan Lee with a full beard?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
No,
I don't remember watching it originally, but obviously, like, man had to do lots of research.
That's what I mean.
For the podcast, so the answer is yes, but no, not when you're talking about when man was like 4 or something. No.
Exactly. I was like, he actually had a beard at one point. That was actually kind of crazy. But then, like I said, watching the very old or the original Hulk movies, I was like, oh, he had very like cameos, small cameos there. And then I think my earliest memory of him was actually in the animated Spider-Man series, the first one, where obviously he comes into office. He goes, oh, like, you're like Spider-Man. And Spider-Man's like, oh, like, you're Stan Lee. He's like web slinging with Stan Lee across the city. He's saying, oh, you're the reason why I'm a hero. He goes, oh, you're the reason this, that, and the other. I was like, so I think after that I researched him and I was like, this is the guy that actually created and started Marvel. And it's crazy how he started. My first like meeting of him really was through an animation or cartoon version of himself rather than the real him. So yeah, that's my earliest memory of Stan Lee.
Yeah, do you know what's mad? Yeah, obviously that is also my shared first memory of Stan Lee's work, innit? So like, obviously, like, as a youth, man's just watching Spider-Man, innit? Like, I'm just young and I'm watching Spider-Man, innit? That's all I'm doing. And then obviously Spider-Man, and the thing what I love about this year is that this episode is the Secret Wars. It's part of the Secret Wars saga, yeah? So in the Secret Wars, bare Spider-Men come together, yeah? And there's Spider-Mans from all different universes. And one of the Spider-Men in that universe says, in my universe, I'm just an actor who plays Spider-Man, yeah? He's got no powers. He's just wearing a Spider-Man suit. So we're like, look, we have to leave you here because you might die in this battle, yeah? But then later, he goes to actual Spider-Man that we watch, who is actually a superhero, goes to his universe to meet the guy who created Spider-Man, who that guy was an actor for in that world. Is everyone still with me?
Yeah,
it's getting better. It's getting better. Do you get me? So it's like raw, like, and Stan Lee is so excited to meet his creation, who's actually a real life superhero in that. And that's when I first became aware that, yo, Stan Lee was Stan Lee, like, do you know what I'm saying? And that is none, because I didn't even think about that. My first meeting or my first encounter with Stan Lee is as a cartoon character.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And then after that, I think you just started to notice that he is everywhere and in everything that you cared about, but you didn't, like, at the time I didn't know. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, random white dude. After that Spider-Man episode, I'm like, yo, that's Stan Lee, fam.
There you go.
That's Stan Lee. That's Stan Lee. That's Stan Lee. Do you know what I'm saying? And then you just, like, and that's just like, that whole thing implants it in you, like, just from young. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's mad because I watched those episodes again, like, in preparation for this podcast, and I was just like, bruv, it's mad. Like, Stan Lee is that guy, fam. It's mad. Get me?
It's funny how, like, you know, you hear people's first encounter with someone and they have, like, it's the same world, right? But it's just different, you know. Like, your memories feels to me like a whole nother world, you know. When Sam's talking about, oh, do you remember the beard? I'm like, fam, I actually don't remember, unless I go on Google and type his name and see the old pictures. I don't remember seeing Stan Lee like other than the way he was today. You know, it's almost like, you know, our old coach, man. Like, we met that guy like, I don't know, about 20 years ago, and it still looked the same. You know what I mean? That's the vision I have with Stan Lee. But my first memory of him is not actually his face, his appearance or anything like that. Now, I watched a lot of cartoons when I was a kid, right? And there is this thing that always stuck with me, right? So do you guys remember watching like cartoons like, I don't know, Tom and Jerry, Looney Tunes, and right at the beginning you would have the signatures. Yeah. That is my first like memory. All right. So there's three signatures I remember. So it was Hanna-Barbera. Do you guys remember that? From they did a bunch of cartoons. I can't remember. Also, there was the Tom and Jerry one, and the other one was me seeing this signature, this name, Stan Lee. Now here's the thing, I don't pay attention. Like, I just have this memory, right? I have actually a very vivid memory when I was a kid. Like, I remember a bunch of stuff when I was a kid, and I all remember is these signatures, comic books and cartoons. Now I don't, and I actually forgot to bring it over here to the podcast, but I don't put a face to the name until I'm in college, where I am asked to do this. So I have this A3 book, right? And every week I'm supposed to write and draw about certain artists, right? And I'm specifically stuck, like, who am I doing? Because all this time I've been doing, you know, like painters, you know, sculptures, and I'm like, oh, and I'm just like, okay, you like cartoon, right? You like comic books. Go do a research and next week bring me one. And I was like, okay, like, so I have all these memories running from mine, and I'm like, okay, let me go to comics instead of cartoons. And then I pick up Stan Lee, but I don't pick up Stan Lee. I pick up the X-Men, right? I pick up Spider-Man. And who comes with that? Stan Lee. So now I'm having to do all these research and find and put a face to this name, which is Stan Lee. And again, the same image that I copied and pasted into my work, and I printed it out and I cut it and I stuck in my book. Fam, that's the same face that you're getting in 2018. And at the time I was like, what, 17? So almost 15 years ago. Like, it's just mad, isn't it?
It is mad. It's mad, like, just the way that, like, he's done so much stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you could be, no matter where you're at and what you're doing, like, you've probably been in contact with some Stan Lee work, innit? And that's just crazy to think of how many people just know of Stan Lee. Like, bruv, like, there's someone in a cave somewhere who's probably never had electricity, who probably knows who Spider-Man is. Do you know what I'm saying?
True.
Like, that's mad. Like, that kind of stuff there, I just think is amazing. That's why I say, when, like, he changed, molded, like, affected generations of people, and will continue to affect generations of people, because there's babies being born today, do you know what I'm saying, that 10 years from now will watch Iron Man 1, do you know what I'm saying, and then just go through all of the movies, like, and they'll be on, like, Avengers 15 by then, do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's just, like, that's Stan Lee, fam. Like, obviously it's not just Stan Lee, I don't want to be disrespectful to anyone else, do you know what I'm saying, but, like, that's how Stan Lee's work just to change the universe, fam, straight.
And there's, you know, in this life here, there's only so many people that can fill in those shoes, and usually it might be like one or two. And I feel that in this industry, he did it for comic books, and I hold him up there with what Walt Disney did for animated cartoons. Like, I hold those two up to par when it comes to that sort of entertainment, you know, hand-drawn entertainment and characters. So I hold him up there with Walt Disney for sure, man. Mr. Blister, you want to add anything else before we move on?
Stanley's an amazing guy, innit?
That's it. All right, cool. All right, so Sam,
Yo,
favorite character by Stan Lee?
this is an easy one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, we all know that Stanley created many characters, and I already mentioned it before, and I'll mention it again. Like, my first run-in with probably any comic book character is Spider-Man. So, watching the animated TV show Saturday morning, first thing I'll wake up for, like, what was it, like 8 a.m. something? Like, I only do that for school, innit? And that's like, I get woke up, innit? I have to get woken up for that.
You man was living a good life,
6?
bro. My cartoons didn't come to started at 6:30. Man was on job, bro. 6 a.m. up already, waiting for them
What was
things.
at 6 a.m. though?
Bruv, I don't know about you guys, but I was on them things, bro. I had a bunch of cartoons straight up, bruv.
All the whack ones were at 6, and then I think good ones were about 8. Yeah, but whack.
What whack? Again, I don't know about your cartoons, but what? Please explain to me what whack cartoons were there in the 90s, bruv.
Barbie.
Who?
Barbie.
Someone come and get this man, please.
I'm not lying. I would wake up.
Disclaimer, please. The Cyber Nerds do not agree or believe that Barbie was a whack cartoon. Whenever, listen, I'm just telling this is a disclaimer for the Cyber Nerds. The views of Mr. Blitztech are his and his alone.
But
thank
It
you.
was a whack cartoon, innit?
All right.
It was a whack cartoon.
But did you watch Barbie?
I had to. I woke up and it was the first thing on TV. First thing on TV, so I was like, let me eat my breakfast, let me not miss anything afterwards. I'm gonna watch some Barbie.
Yo.
Why not?
Yo, listen.
It's on TV. I'm a kid. What?
Disclaimer.
You're watching Barbie.
No. A disclaimer's for me. Because I'm about to get outrageous. Disclaimer. The Cyber Nerds do not listen.
Oh my god.
There's nothing wrong. The Cyber Nerds believe.
I'm
Guys,
dying.
can I get myself together, please?
Bro, I
Listen,
can't help it.
The Cyber Nerds don't believe that there's anything wrong with anyone watching Barbie. Anyone. Do you know what I'm saying? Anybody. But I do. Joe has an issue. Joe has a major issue with Mr. Blitztech revealing at this age in his life that as a child he used to watch Barbie.
It was on TV.
Listen,
Man
it was on
exposed
TV.
himself.
Yeah.
It was on TV, fam. Bruv, are you mad, bruv?
No, I'm not mad.
Bruv, how's this the first time man's hearing about you watching Barbie, fam?
No,
Man's
this ain't
not-
the first
I know you
time.
my whole life, bruv.
This ain't the first time. This ain't the
A disclaimer. Disclaimer.
Bro, is this a trick?
Oh, I can't
Is it a hat
take
trick?
this.
What are
No.
you talking about right now?
I can't take this.
What are you talking about? You're saying I was aware that you used to watch Barbie?
Yeah. Used to wake up mad early. I didn't want to miss anything. It would be, Barbie first, then something else, and pretty sure then Spider-Man. I was like, I ain't gonna...
Man was just complaining. Listen. We're about to get out of control right now. Man was just complaining that he had to wake up too early to watch Spider-Man, yeah? But he's saying he's waking up. He's saying he's waking up extra early to catch the new episodes of Barbie first.
But
Like, you know what I'm saying?
What
He's got to
I'm
see.
saying.
He's got to see if Barbie and Ken are all right before he can check into Peter Parker and Mary Jane. Fam, I'm not involved in this.
What I was saying was,
I'm not involved.
I was complaining
Look.
out for school.
Look, I'm just
Spider-Man
saying.
was not a problem.
Me, Joe, 1/3 of the Cyber Nerds. I was never aware that Mr. Blitztech, Sam, used to watch Barbie. And I just want, listen, I want everyone listening to be clear of that. He is lying to you about
Oh my
this.
God.
I was not aware of that, innit? Let's move on, innit?
He probably just blocked it from his memory because I'm pretty sure.
I hope I did.
Yeah,
I
you
hope I
probably
did
did.
block it. If I did know, then I commend myself for blocking that out. I wish I'd never heard this, fam. Barbie.
It's just a cartoon, isn't it?
Bro.
Just a cartoon's on TV. Anyway.
No.
It was
Man,
like-
listen. Sorry. Let me bring it
Oh
back.
my God.
Fam,
God. Fam, don't even look at me in the eye.
man
fam,
was
'cause-
born and raised in the East End of London in Newham, and this dude is waking up at 6:45 to watch Barbie.
But
Not to watch Barbie. You're getting
No.
twisted now. You're getting twisted. I didn't wake up to watch Barbie. I
So
woke
why was you
up
watching it?
Because it was on TV.
So what does that mean?
I woke up.
What does that mean?
I'm telling you, I woke up, turned on the TV, and that was the first cartoon that was on, innit?
And then man decided to sit down and watch it.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, and then man decided the next week, I enjoyed that episode of Barbie. I'm
No,
gonna watch the next one.
That's not what I said. You're putting words in my mouth now.
So how many episodes did you watch?
Man watched
I don't
every
know.
season, fam.
I don't know how many seasons are there then.
Why we did? How would I know?
Exactly.
How would I know?
So you know watch every season then?
Because I know I can
it
hear it in your
from
voice.
Spider-Man?
I can hear it. I can hear it in your
You're
voice.
just assuming now. You're just assuming. innit?
Wow.
Fam,
Wait,
have you got- have you got-
how many seasons of Spider-Man?
I actually can't remember. Yet.
There's 4.
There's 4.
Well,
So
I
is there
take
4
this.
seasons?
Oh, now there's 4.
Barbies as
You
well.
can't remember. Now there's 4. After I said there's 4.
all right.
Is there? I'm asking you, innit?
There's 4 seasons.
But guys,
That run ended in 1998.
Jesus
I remember
Christ.
with the episode where Mary where Madam Web's taking Peter Parker to go get Mary Jane.
Where
What?
was I?
My chest.
Where was I?
You was watching Barbie. That's where you was.
Jesus.
Thank you very much for reminding me. So I woke up real early, started watching these Saturday cartoons. I actually don't remember why I was with this. And
You don't know why?
No. I'm catching up. So I'd wake up, and then Spider-Man.
Bad stories, bad flaky, fam.
How is it flaky?
Bad. I'm not involved.
How is it
I'm
flaky?
not- I'm just.
I want to know
Listen,
because what Barbie would come on. That's it. What was it? Biker Mice from Mars would come on, and there was another one. Then Spider-Man would come on. I would just watch all of them, innit? And that's when I first came across that superhero in particular. I thought, like, man's a nerd in one part of his life, going to school, having all this trouble and stuff, and then second part he's like out here like saving people. And I was like, wow, that's actually like real amazing stuff. So yeah, Barbie.
no.
Don't see. Look, this is mad. This is about to. Listen. Look, Raven. Firstly, let me commend you for doing what I do when the podcast is on, fact checking yourself. Innit? Let me hear these facts about this. Let me just be quiet.
Do you want to go back to this one or this one?
But no. Go to Biker Mice from Mars.
Yeah, because man just mentioned that.
Do you know about Biker Mice from Mars?
Listen.
Sorry, maybe that was disrespectful. Maybe.
Don't disrespect me.
Biker Mice from Mars was a bad man thing. Fam.
Yep.
A bad man thing.
Yep.
Innit? But no, sorry, you do your thing.
No. Go ahead, bruv.
That's all I was gonna say.
No.
All I was gonna say is that I thought you was gonna drop some heat because I see you clicking away in it.
No, you started. Go ahead.
Bro, I've
Go ahead. Now, don't half step now. Come on.
I'm not half stepping.
Listen,
about
I'm not.
anything.
Listen, I'm just the
All
guy
I'm-
here laughing. Carry on
Right
what
now,
you two was going.
listen.
Yeah, go
all
on.
I'm seeing is the dates for Biker Mice from Mars. In it,
Yeah.
first episode aired 1993, and the last episode aired 1996. Yeah, that's what I saw. Now, the next page is for. Listen, I don't want to sound wrong on this, but this whole Barbie thing here, the first episode dropped January 20th, 2012.
Now let me check if there's a 90s one.
Is that what that says?
Yeah, it says 2012, but let me check if there's
Okay,
a.
let's get to the bottom. Oh, here we go.
Oh, okay. So there's a complete. No, but that's a movies though. Those are movies.
They're movies.
They're movies. So
Let's keep going on
let's
this,
keep
innit?
going on this.
Because I feel like there may just be a mad inconsistency. Because if this Barbie show isn't on between 1994 and 1998, there's something real's going on.
These sounds look like movies, fam, and not.
Keep going down.
2017 live adaptation.
Yeah. Mr. Blitztech needs to fact check himself because apparently there's no
Films, video games,
There's no Barbie
TV
show coming
series. TV series over here, 2012, 2015, 2016 to present. Dream House Adventures, 2018 present.
Oh, I'm loving this right now. I am loving this. Please listen. Someone jump in the comment sections below and prove me wrong in it. Because I want this show to be real in it. Because if this show is not real, this means in 2012, Mr. Blitztech was waking up extra early to watch this Barbie show as a grown man.
Nah, that's not what happened.
Fam, listen, look, let me do me.
2012.
Let me do me. The only Barbie TV show I can see right now is in 2012, fam.
Yep, TV series says right
TV
here.
series, Life in the Dream House.
Now, unless you are confusing that with the video games.
Nah, fam, there ain't no video game that starts itself before Spider-Man.
What's going on? Nah.
Oh my god! Yeah, because you know what, like See, that's when you see where you messed up here. I see, yeah, Joe's getting real hot right now. Where you messed up, Sam, yeah, is when you said biker's mice. Because listen, there's one thing Raven, your GS, knows about his cartoons, fam. Now, first thing I was gonna say is that I don't remember ever seeing a Barbie cartoon.
Ever.
I don't remember, and I've said, listen, and I was the youngest one in the household. I didn't even go to school at the time. Okay, while everybody was doing in primary school, I was going to creche, fam. Yeah, that's preschool. That means I didn't get in until 9. Everybody else got into school at 8, quarter to 8. This is in the 90s. Yeah? This is not these days where you start your lessons at 9 o'clock. Yeah, so that's that. So and I told you right at the beginning that I have a very, very vivid memory of my childhood, bro. Man had one of the best childhoods ever, fam. Yeah. So one thing you could not tell me is about dates and cartoons, because man remember them things there. Yeah. I went to school, fam. I went to school in 94. I went to year 1. I started playing basketball in 93, fam. I know my stuff. Cool. Alright, so and this is how we got here now.
Wait, please, sorry, can I just dive in? Can I dive in? Sam, have you fact checked it?
Yeah, I'm still looking.
Okay.
Man's still looking.
He's still looking.
Man, major exposure, fam.
Do you remember, dude? Like, that's something I don't mind bringing up.
We went from Stan Lee to watching Barbies.
I know in 2012 you remember watching Barbies.
Nah, I didn't watch
All I know, guys, please get ready. Check the merch store, yeah? The Mr. Blitztech Barbie Princess t-shirt is coming soon. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry, it's coming.
My God.
Don't worry. Listen, you've created a monster right now.
Yeah, fam.
That Sam Who t-shirt is a thing of the past. Listen, look,
I've even lost myself. I don't even know where we were in the show anymore.
Man's moving on, innit? Like, we're talking about favourite Stan Lee characters, innit?
Yeah.
I want to dive onto mine now. My favourite Stan Lee character, yeah, is Spider-Man, innit?
Yep.
But I couldn't pick him for this. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like there's another character for me personally who has done so much more bits and was so much more relevant at the time that he was created, yeah? And that's Black Panther, innit?
Sorry, but with all this madness, my next question, Sam, was why Spider-Man? Sorry, but this is what happens when
wants to talk about Barbie, fam.
Okay, then I guess he messed up his one. Go ahead.
He wants to talk about Barbie.
Yeah,
innit? Do you get me?
I didn't want to talk about Barbie. You guys brought it up, innit?
So man's upset.
Who brought up Barbie?
Like, I said it, and then you guys wanted to just hold it on that the whole conversation.
Listen,
that's what about Stan Lee.
I've known you. I've known you since I was like 13, fam. Yeah,
this has come up before.
This is the same. This is the same thing. A couple of months ago, we found out you own an Xbox, or you owned, and it was like, whoa, wait, since
never owned,
when?
played with.
Listen, look, yeah.
So,
regardless of who brought up Barbie and who didn't, Sam.
Yeah.
You said that you used to watch a Barbie show in the 90s that you're finding incredibly difficult to locate now. Now, unless this thing was erased from the universe,
maybe
by some time traveling mutant,
that's impossible with the internet.
Fam. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't. Like, I didn't do that. You did that. I don't know what you want man to do, innit?
And then another thing is, before we go into
going back into this Barbie thing, I want to talk about Black Panther.
Because I wanted to say something, but then in the whole madness, but I don't remember seeing Barbie on the screens until Toy Story. Right?
Fam,
that's the only time I remember seeing Barbie on the screen is Toy Story. Everything else, Barbie to me was a doll. That's it. That's it, fam. So
when you woke up, what was the programs or cartoon shows that you watched before Spider-Man then?
Me? Are you asking me?
Anyone?
Spider-Man, I used to watch Spider-Man on the weekends.
Yeah, that's right? Exactly.
That was on the weekends. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you which one I watched before or after. I can tell you the cartoons I used to watch, Biker Mice, Dragon Ball. This is way before Dragon Ball was here. But Dragon Ball was on the weekdays after school, because man used to sprint home to watch it at 3 o'clock, right? So that wasn't even the morning thing. Morning thing was Sesame Street, was one of them. Biker Mice was morning as well. And if I remember anyone else, others, I'll tell you. Yeah. Tom and Jerry. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, bruv, He-Man, what are we talking about, fam?
You said you had a vivid memory.
Are you mad? Are you mad?
I'm asking you.
Captain Planet.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
What's the one? It's not Transformers. It was Transform. Ninja Turtles. Are you mad, fam? Man,
waiting for the
bruv, yeah.
answers, man.
Ninja Turtles. I used to get kicked out of classroom because man used to copy Donnie, fam. Are you mad? Are you, bruv, don't question me about my cartoons. Why I used to watch, fam. Are you mad?
I'm questioning.
Go on.
What's happening now? Have you found Barbie yet?
No.
Are you still looking for Barbie?
I most definitely am.
Okay.
I do remember watching it.
Fam,
Of
that's
course
fine.
you did. Of
That's
course you
fine.
did. But it was not in the
crazy.
90s,
You
fam.
remember it because
And
you was watching it in 2012. That's why you remember it, fam.
There's no way.
When the
That
show
can't
dropped,
be.
you was there.
Man was watching Barbies before the Olympics, innit?
Bro,
Definitely.
Before the Olympics came on.
Fam, can I talk about Black Panther?
Go on, sir.
Alright, so Black Panther,
Yeah.
first superhero of African descent in mainstream American comics. Now, this is in, I haven't even got the year, fam, but it's in like, I want to say 1963. I'm saying 1963. Let me get a fact check on that real quick, innit? Get me? But the reason I think it's so important, innit, is because like this is a time where there's no black superheroes, and I don't really want to get on the whole thing. Do you know what I'm saying? But I feel like it was so important for someone like Stan Lee and Jack Kirby to be the driving force for something like this. Do you know what I'm saying? That's just way ahead of your time. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and even now, look where we are. We got Black Panther movies, and it's a whole thing like that. What he was trying to do back then may only be having a major impact now, but it's very needed, and it's still as relevant now, like socially. So I just feel like Black Panther is one of like Stan Lee's best, and he's one of my favorite characters. You know what I'm saying? So what year was that? What year was it?
First appearance July
1966.
66.
All right, 3 years off, innit?
Cool.
I was close.
But funny enough to that is that I remember when we used to have this conversation, and we were younger, and we was like, what's the point of Black Panther? Do you remember having this conversation? Man never used to kind of like him.
No, bro. I like Black Panther in the movies.
Yeah.
But my feelings about Black Panther and Captain America are pretty similar. Like, I didn't really gravitate towards their characters on the comic books, but in the movies I do like the way they're depicted. And I think my issue with Black Panther at the time was like, I just felt he was made because they had 100 white superheroes and they needed a black one. But at the same time, like, that was like, I was pretty young.
Yeah.
I was pretty young and didn't understand how actually important that was to people who were 20 years older than me.
And same with me as well.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Same
because
with me as well,
it's like, for me as a child, let's say I'm 8, 9, 10 years old. I'm just like, yo, like, I don't even know that there's people that don't like black people. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just a kid, innit? Like, I'm ignorant to these things, innit? So when I'm like, oh, this black superhero is called Black Panther, like, it seemed all a bit weird. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, a bit on the nose. Do you know what I'm saying?
And it's called Black, and it's Panther.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? And his suit's all black, and he's from Africa, like,
and he's like an animal.
Do you know what I'm saying?
And that's how we felt at the time.
Bro, and I was just like, I don't really like what they've done with that character in it. But obviously I didn't understand the social implications till I was much older, and then that's what makes me gravitate towards the character now. Do you know what I'm saying? When I see at the Black Panther premiere little kids dressed up as T'Challa running around, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
fire.
Someone they can look in the mirror and be like, oh, he looks like me, I relate to him, I can be strong and powerful. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, fam, those kind of messages, they only come in that form. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think the benefits, like, Stan Lee won't be around to see the benefits of what that Black Panther character did. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, Spider-Man blew up, X-Men blew up, Black Panther has blown up, but like, Black Panther is about to get even bigger and bigger and bigger. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, as time moves forward, innit? So it's Black Panther for me.
And this is a character that not too long ago no one spoke about. Was there even comic books running at the time?
It was
I don't
comic
think
books.
so.
It was still about, but
there was comic books.
Only like a niche, like, kind of fan base, to be honest. It wasn't massive.
If we go back 4 years ago, fam, just 4 years, fam, just like let's say 4 weeks before this movie even went into production, bruv, no one cared about Black Panther, fam, until they said my man's gonna be in the MCU, fam. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is, innit? But shout out to Stanley on that one, innit? Big man things.
All right, cool. And,
I just got one more question.
Oh,
to
yeah,
ask,
sorry.
What, Sam, have you found this Barbie?
Barbie
Thing. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask Sam
Man
on
said it's
every
close,
podcast till the rest of life.
Jesus.
If he's found the
It
Barbie,
existed, I'm telling you.
It existed.
existed.
In your mind.
You wasn't watching this.
You wanted to be watching
There was
Barbie.
a female-led cartoon. I'm pretty sure it was Barbie.
See, look, man, don't check. See, look, see, I don't like what. You see what he's doing now. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
See what he's doing now, bruv. There's a.
I tell you what female cartoon I watched, Sailor
She-Ra.
Moon.
Oh.
Sailor Moon, bruv.
And that thing banged, bruv.
What did you call that?
Sailor Moon.
No. No. What did you call it before that?
Sailor Moon. That's
No.
what-
You called it Sailor Moon, but you said there was a female what? Female-led show or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that what you called it?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So
Sailor Moon banged, bruv.
yeah,
Powerpuff Girls banged. What
Yeah.
are we talking about?
Powerpuffs came towards like 98, 99, 90. I was already in like year 5, year 6 when Powerpuffs came.
Man, don't care. Listen, bro. And let me put this disclaimer out there: the cyber nerds are not against female-led anything. Do you know what I'm
Man,
saying?
I used to watch these things
Powerpuff
from
Girls, Sailor Moon.
day-
I don't know.
day
There's
dot.
something else that I'm not thinking of right now that also banged, bruv. That man used to watch religiously, fam. But this whole
with
cyber-
girls or just
No,
in
with
general?
girls. But this whole thing with Barbie, though, I just don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know if it's real. This is just sounding like one of Sam's hentai fantasies right now.
What are we talking
See
about right
that?
now?
See
Whoa,
that?
whoa,
That
whoa.
kind of makes sense now.
No, it does
see,
not. No,
See
it
that
does
makes sense, fam.
Don't be putting
That
anything
makes sense.
Hentai. We told you
This
that.
is mad. This is mad. All right, cool.
Speaking
So
stuff up, yeah? All right.
Mr. Blitz takes on a mad defensive thing right
But
now.
you'll say that I'm on that. But who told you that, though?
Fam, I didn't know you was on Barbie, innit? So maybe this is another one of those repressed memories coming back,
Repressed
innit?
memories.
Guys, listen,
I said it before and I'll say it again.
you watched Barbie before Spider-Man.
Yeah, I watched about it. Like, what? When I was a kid, something was on TV, I watch it. What's wrong with that?
oh, that's it. I'm done. Look, can I just
Can you get your podcast under control, miss?
Bro, I can't, bro. I can't, bro. This is just that's his. All right, cool. So my favorite character by him, and I'm pretty sure this is not going to come to any surprise of you guys, but man like Magneto. And what is for me to say? Like, here's the thing about this character that. And and this goes back to the whole Marvel ethos, the struggle of society, and I always like, even when I used to watch. Remember, we used to watch the cartoons. Like I liked him. And at the time, I didn't. I don't know why, but I tell you one thing that today makes sense to me. So I grew up in a very racist era in Portugal, right? Where, like, if I'd be in certain area, right? Say I'm here, I'm in Hackney, right? And I move down the road towards, like, I don't know, like near Liverpool Street. I'd be like there'll be like police officers and be like, yo, darkies, what are you doing in this area? This is not your area, right? I've also been kicked out of a park several times when I was a kid for being a black kid, right? So I grew up with this notion of like black and white, right? So, and obviously I watched tons of cartoons. That was my thing. Like movies and cartoons and comic books, those were my things. Like those were the only two things that would calm me down and get me in trouble as well, because obviously Ninja Turtle was just my thing. I would just go nuts and start fighting with everything and everyone. All right. But then I like this character because he'll be protecting these people. But at the time, I don't understand. To me, I just like this guy. So as I grow up, and obviously we become who we are based on our experiences, right? And obviously me studying animation and going into the depths of it and reading, the the creators behind it and the reasons for doing stuff and writing certain stories and giving certain personalities to certain characters, I begun to understand that the reason why I like certain characters, the reason why I like anti-heroes, because me growing up, I went through all these challenges, getting chased out of places, not being allowed in places. There was actually one time I was playing with this kid and he got scolded. She was like, yo, why are you playing with him? Sort of thing. So I grew up with this thing, and although it never became a rage like inside me or anything like that, but I understood Magneto. I understood his struggles. I understood what he was standing for, and I understood that sometimes being too nice about things doesn't get things done. Now, I'm also from a country which to gain their what do you call it? Independence. We had to liaise with other African countries, because obviously Cape Verde, we're 10 islands, and every other country was, took over each island, all right, each European country. So I grew up with that whole thing. So to me, Magneto makes perfect sense why I liked him, and even before I understood why I liked him, I already, resonated and saw his struggles and what I went through in it. So, and it is so important to tell this story. Now, obviously, I'm telling my story as a black man. Now, there's plenty other people out there who been marginalized and casted aside, who go through these struggles as well. Bruce Lee was one of them, trying, within the whole Hollywood or whatever. So there's plenty of history that surrounds this character and his team around him, innit? So Magneto is my favorite character by Stan Lee, and obviously he's also done by Jack Kirby. Anything else, guys? You guys want to weigh in on anything? Are we good to go? Are we still talking about Barbie? What's going on?
No,
we're good. I see Joe's face. Joe's got sign in his chest. By all means, sir. By all means,
bro. I've got nothing. You was asking if we was done with Barbie. I wanted the guy who watches Barbie to answer the question.
All right, cool. Oh, so he said no.
I think we can move on.
Cool. So on to the next one. Your favorite movie cameo by Stan Lee. Who wants to start with this one?
I want to go first. Then. This one was pretty easy for me.
And by the way, how many cameos did he do? Was it like 11?
I did way more than that.
More than 11.
If you're talking about just the MCU movies, in every one, then in the Netflix series, he's in them too.
Oh yeah.
His actual person's not in them, but there's like pictures and there's alluded to in them, and then obviously he's in like all the old Spider-Man movies, the Fantastic Four movies. He's pretty much in everything, innit?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But my one is in Age of Ultron, Avengers 2, innit? So they're having a party at the Avengers Tower, and Thor is talking about. Thor's got that painting in it. He's got that drink that painting that gets every man licked in it.
Let me drink some water, bro.
And Stan Lee's character, who's like is one of Captain America's boys from back in the day, who they're all like 100 in it, and Cap's like whatever 30. You know what I'm saying? He's like Blondie, man. Give me that thing in it. Like, let me get lit, fam.
You man out here gassing this thing.
Bruv, bruv. You know, and you know what's funny? It just reminds me of me and my friends, in it. Like, there's always that one dude who's like, yeah, man, I can drink as much as you lot, bruv. Yeah, whatever, it's cool, fam. Thor gives Stan Lee the drink, man takes one shot. Next scene, man's carrying him out over there, and he's talking about Excelsior. Like, bro, it is bad, bro. I love that, bro. I love that scene. Like, it is just too much for me, fam. So that one, and I thought it was also sick, like just how they like just the scene itself. I think from all the Avengers movies, that scene of them being chilled out together, hanging out, is I think something that they need to explore more with like even just in superhero movies in general, like them not being superheroes. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's one of the things I love about it. So yeah, man, that cameo there is everything.
It's funny because that's my one, and it's funny enough, man. Like you've said,
So that's your one as well.
That's my one as well. Age of Ultron when his man's passed out. But it's like you said. You've mentioned, you hit on the ball that you said it reminds me of our friends. And one thing, so one of our closest friends, me and Joe, he's a music artist, right? And one of his lyrics, he says, "Don't tell me you passed out, I'm not involved," right? And fam, this is it, fam. This is exactly what you're talking about. Shout out to Marvin Live for the lyrics. But yeah, man, it's just like, yo, that is just so us. Oh, you on the gas thing? Yeah, all right, cool, fam. It is a shot or two, innit? Like, that's done. But yeah, but then also goes to the whole fact that, yo, like, we're buddies, I've aged, so they play on that little role thing, which I think is just so smart as well. Like, he wasn't just a case of let me just throw you in there, like, you know, doing whatever. Like, some of them, yeah, he's just out in the window, hey, shut up before I come down and sort you out, sort of thing.
Bruv, the thing that I think is mad about the scene though is that, bruv, it's not like it's Tony with the drink. It's four,
It's
bruv.
four, fam.
This
That-
is
that's
some
in- how old is it? Like 100 years or
bro,
something?
like 1,000 years old shot of vodka or something, bro. Like, bruv, this thing is gonna lay you on your back, fam, bruv. Like, bruv, and the way Stan Lee just paused, man, like, bruv, shut up, man, give me the thing, fam. I love it. I just,
Man, I on the hype. Alright, cool. So look, me and Joe have the same one. Mr. Ballistic.
Yo. Yeah, my one. It's basically when he's like a delivery man. He comes. I think this is Captain America, Civil War, and he's like a delivery man coming to give something to Tony, and he just gets his name surname completely wrong. He's like Mr. Stank. Delivery for Mr. Stank is, yeah, that's your name for right now. That just cracked me up. That's like, I think, one of my best cameos from.
And what's his name? What's his name that's with him?
Don Cheadle's
Don
there.
Cheadle is like,
War Machine.
yeah.
Tony Stank right here.
Yeah.
I love that one, fam.
Yeah,
that was good
way
too.
funny.
I listen. Look, yeah, it wouldn't be a Cyber Nerds podcast if I didn't cheat on the question. And I got two more, man.
Go
I
on.
got two more, fam. All right, so one, yeah.
So these are like
These are other cameos in it. It was one,
Yeah.
but it kind of just squeezed into
As
two.
usual, as you
so,
do.
Hey, Guardians of the Galaxy #1, yeah.
Yeah.
Rocket Raccoon, they're in like a foyer in it, and he's looking around like through his gun, and he sees Stan Lee. Stan Lee's on a bridge finessing this boom thing, bruv, and he's like, "Look at you, oldie!" Like, man, right, bruv. Rocket starts going in on him about like, "Yo, fam, go back to your wife and kids." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, fam, he definitely looks like that old man, fam, at the library talking to the 22-year-old too. You know what I'm saying? He was definitely trying to ting with her, fam.
I was definitely on that finesse game, fam.
And then my next one, yeah, last one, it's still Guardians of the Galaxy. In Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I think they fly past something and you see Stan Lee in a spacesuit talking to the Watchers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fam. And the reason I really like this, because this confirms, well, I don't know if it confirms, but he's like, oh, and then in another life, if you hear the conversation, he's talking about him doing a cameo or him being another character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe from one of the cameos he's already done. So it's like, yo, what? Stan Lee, low-key, could be a Watcher, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's mad. And like, when you tie something, like, it gets so meta when you're like, whoa, Stan Lee's cameoed in every movie and he's a Watcher and the Watchers watch everything. Like, bro, it starts getting mad meta, and I was just like, yeah, it's just next level, man. Sick.
One thing I think me and you, Sam, we was on the Uber or something, and we was coming back to the ends, and we was just talking about Stan Lee having to be in these movies, and how what a best way when, and obviously this was like summertime. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're summertime, we're in the Uber, and we're talking about Stan Lee in these movies, cameo in these movies, and we're like, raw, like, fam, when you go onto the afterlife, this is a sick present, because you got to think about it, yeah. None of us have kids, innit? Like, in 10, 15 years from now, your kids are going to know who Stan Lee is. Like, even by default, they will know who it is. They might not know him by name, But at certain point, they're gonna be like, "Yo, this guy keeps who is this guy? Why does he keep appearing in the movies?" You know what I'm saying? Like in 10, 15 years time, for my kid to know who, for example, Walt Disney is, I would have to okay, here's Walt Disney. I have to introduce to him. While this guy is gonna live forever, fam. Forever, like by default. By just watching these movies, kids are going to pick up this guy, and that is so genius to stay alive in this world like forever, fam. And God knows how many more movies, more cameos he's done that's not out yet. You know what I mean? Another thing is, he even appears in the Titans Go to the Movies or Make to the Movies. I can't remember the subtitle. The cartoons. He's in it.
Yeah. But it's not just that, fam. Obviously, he's in Spider-Man, the animated series, fam. He's in, it's Big Hero 6?
Big Hero 6,
he's
Cameo.
He cameos in Big Hero 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Fam.
New Spider-Man animated series.
What part in Big Hero 6? I just bought
He's the
that.
kid's dad.
Yeah, the guy's dad.
He's the kid's dad. He comes in when he's got like the superhero uniform. He's trying to put it on. And they start...
Man, that must have been real tired. I'm gonna put the movie on and watch it again.
Bob, he's in everything. He's in everything. So, like... bro, that's what I'm talking about. Man's legacy living on, fam.
He's so huge, you can't miss him. Like, he's
bro,
everywhere.
Man is there, fam.
And that's not even just animated like shows. He's in like books. He's got covers about him.
Yeah, bro.
He's got art. Like,
bro,
how are you gonna miss him?
Bro, every Marvel comic says Stan Lee, fam.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like...
That's mad.
It is mad, but...
It is and it isn't.
Yeah, you know what I'm
It's
saying?
just normal,
It's not
it's
mad,
normal,
it's normal for him. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he set the groundwork for something that will live on forever, bro. And it's mad. Like, when you're like, oh, like Stan Lee was part of creating the Cybernerds, fam. It's so true, fam. Like, do you know what I'm saying? I feel like everyone here's gateway was Spider-Man, innit? Yeah. What was your first?
Not mine.
What was yours?
It's Superman. But Spider-Man's up there as well,
bro. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but I'm just saying, like, for me,
no,
like,
he's definitely up there. He's definitely up there.
For me, like, Spider-Man put me on this whole thing.
It was
Stan
Spider-Man,
Lee put me
Superman,
on
and
the thing.
X-Men.
Get me? So
Those are my first 3 memories of comics. All right, cool. Oh, moving on to the next one. All right, so your next one is favorite movie based on his characters or teams, for that matter. Anyone want to go with this one? Or, okay, I'll go first. I guess.
I was gonna ask for a movie buff, innit, bro?
Sorry, say that again.
I was gonna ask for a movie buff, innit?
What you mean?
he's alluding to Joe. He said he wanted Joe to go first. I'm the movie buff.
No, Raven.
Raven, do your thing, fam. Your podcast, run the thing, fam.
No, I'm actually confused there. I thought we were all supposed to be movies buffs around here. Don't we watch movies?
Sam watches Barbie, innit?
Yo,
that's not a movie, though. That's an animated series.
Actually, they had 10. Bruv, you haven't found the animated series, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna look.
But we've found 10 Barbie movies.
I've never watched those.
You ain't watched the animated series from the 90s because that was never made.
This was so crazy. Like, you feel old up to watching Barbie without watching Barbie. That's what's so
the
crazy.
Subscribers will judge you. I won't, innit? You get me?
I don't mind.
That's bad. So, man, all right, cool. Look, so I did say characters team, so I'm gonna go with a whole team, and this was a really tough one because Marvel has been putting out really good movies for the past 8 years, right? And consistently good movies, that is. And man, this was challenging, but then I had to kind of like break it down. Okay, what am I drawn onto the most and not what is the best? And my favorite ended up being X-Men First Class. Now, to me, when I think about Marvel, Stan Lee, Marvel is just going to be X-Men on everything. Like top characters are definitely come from X-Men. I mean, I'm talking about Wolverine, I'm talking about Magneto. Even when I was a kid, Gambit. I loved Gambit and Rogue.
The Gambit was on my faves as well.
Yeah, like Gambit was so sick. Although in movie he sucked, but the comic, the animating, I loved it. You know what I mean? So so my favorite movie and is the X-Men First Class, and I'm so happy that they got to reboot the X-Men. Although I have all the previous ones, but watching this, it just felt so organic. The first, and obviously it's a lot more modern, but the first assembly of the X-Men, the first members of the X-Men coming together, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the other movies, do we have the first ones?
What do you mean?
The first like kind of like characters put together.
You're saying in X1, is it the original?
Yeah.
You don't have. It depends
because they've got Horror in it, innit? Storm.
Storm, yeah, Storm.
On the first one,
You got no Beast.
Beast is in X1.
Okay.
Beast is in X1. It depends who your original 5 are in it. Because I feel like
I'm trying to
depending
look
on where you got in, really depends on who your original 5 is in it. Because I don't put man like Archangel in my original 5 in it, but the original 5 X-Men were Cyclops, Jean, Beast.
Wasn't his brother in his
Angel?
Right.
But wasn't his brother in the first ones?
Who's talking about Havoc?
Havoc. I think Havoc was one of the first ones. You know.
I don't think he was an X-Men at that point, was he? They got split up.
Are we talking about in the movies, or are we talking about in the comics now?
I'm talking about like comics. Like I'm talking about the.
I don't think Havoc is in the first trilogy of the X-Men.
Okay. All right. Cool. So I've got.
They never really get into
allude to,
Scott's,
yeah.
They never get into Scott's background and that.
Okay. Cool. And obviously, I mean, and this is see with, and to me the most important thing with the First Class is two guys who are forever playing chess with each other, which is Charles Xavier and Magneto. Like, I feel that, like, yeah, one is like the number one, you know, like enemy forever of the X-Men, right? But what bonds Charles Xavier with Magneto, like, flourishes the teams. You know what I mean? So, and I feel that it was so important to have First Class, because from then on we were able to have other movies, better characters, better stories. So my favorite movie based on Stan Lee's characters is X-Men: The First Class. By the way, where would you guys rate First Class?
In the X-Men movies?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say off the top of my head, I'm gonna say third.
Who's your first?
Logan,
First and second.
Logan's first, easily, and then second might be Days of Future Past.
All right.
And then probably First Class.
All right.
I was going to say top 3 as well, because obviously it's more modern. The first trilogy is kind of dated now, even though I still like the first 2. Days of Future Past beats them easily anyway, so.
Calm. All right, then. So, who wants to go next?
Sam, you got that, or do you?
Yeah. I was going to say, like,
Go ahead.
my favorite Marvel movie.
Is favorite movie based on his characters, character or
Characters,
or
more than one,
or teams.
Team The Avengers, the movie Avengers Assemble. Easily one of my best. Like, seeing all these guys, obviously their individual movies. You got Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk. Obviously, in fact, yeah, the Incredible Hulk in it. So he had his own movie, and eventually seeing these guys come together, super epic on screen. Like the music, the team chemistry. Like, I never thought it would really be possible, let alone fathom the idea of bringing these guys together in it. But the way they did it, the way they presented it, super legit. I loved it. Still love it now. One of my best movies within the Marvel body of work behind Stan Lee.
You know what's interesting to me, is that if I think about my first memories of the Avengers, it wasn't until I was like don't know, 12, 13. I legitimately don't remember. Like, I do remember. Here's what I remember. I remember 4. I remember Captain America. Obviously, everybody remembers Captain America. But I just don't remember these guys put together as a kid reading about them. Like, to me, like, in my memory, like, Marvel is like X-Men. When we're talking about team, nothing exists besides those guys. And Fantastic Four as well. So I remember Fantastic Four well. I just don't remember X-Men, the Avengers like that. Do you guys, if you know if there's a particular reason, or it just wasn't much hype back then about it, or it's always been just as big?
No, I just feel like when like back in the day, Marvel's biggest team was the X-Men, innit? I feel like the Avengers were always overshadowed by the X-Men. Like the X-Men got the animated shows, and it was only certain Avengers characters that like really stood out. Do you know what I'm saying? Like Iron Man got his own show, Spider-Man got his own show, Doctor Strange cameoed in Spider-Man. Do you know what I'm saying? So it was like, I feel like Avengers had standout characters that they focused on as opposed, but then they made the X-Men. But then obviously it got into the whole right disputes, people selling off rights and stuff like that. So then the focus had to shift in it. Do you know what I'm saying? But now I feel like we're in a good place where the Avengers and the X-Men are both like two of the greatest teams out there. And you know, maybe we'll be seeing the X-Men come to the MCU. It's not what I want, but you know what I'm saying? Why not?
I think that'll be too much.
That's the funny thing as well, because I remember back in the day when we was on the SNES and stuff, I think you had an X-Men game. I think we didn't really have a Fantastic Four game.
I remember the X-Men game.
Yeah, exactly. The X-Men game was actually really good, but like I was just looking at it now, and then the Avengers game is actually called Captain America and the Avengers. So that's how deep the team really isn't. Even back then, it was like everyone knew the individual like people, heroes, but they weren't really a team. Like you're saying, X-Men, like that's what we knew them as first, and then we got to know the characters. Same thing with Fantastic Four, but then like Avengers, no, not really. Even the comic books, I'll see them every now and then, but like, I don't know what's going on with that, to be honest.
Yeah, like, cause I don't like. Okay, so I picked up my first Avengers book, which was the first issue ever printed, when we got introduced to so when Captain America was coming out, the first Avenger. So I was like, oh, okay, let me go back into the comic books and pick up how this guy came to be. Right, but Avengers, like, not even today, like I find there's no that thing that makes me drive like, oh yeah, I'm gonna read this book. I'm gonna read the Avengers. I just find it so dry, fam. Like the only thing I enjoyed the Avengers was the Avengers versus the X-Men. When Cyclops went ham, loved it. But anything else, I just can't see myself sitting down reading the Avengers.
Alright, cool. So my movie is Avengers Infinity War, and it's for all the same reasons that Mr. Blitztech said about the Avengers. You know what I'm saying? It's epic, it brings all of these heroes together, but I think what Avengers Infinity War does that Avengers Assemble and Age of Ultron don't do is it brings in all the characters. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't include a movie that was my favourite Stan Lee work that doesn't have Spider-Man in. Do you know what I'm saying? And this has got Spider-Man in. It's got Doctor Strange in. It's got it's probably got the most Stan Lee helped create characters, individual ones. Do you know what I'm saying? In one movie, and the movie is also a broken sofa. Do you get what I'm saying? So I had to pick that one, man. I love Infinity War, and like without Stan Lee, this wouldn't be possible. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that's it for me.
Like, so jumping on that, right? Like I could not imagine. So you're this guy, right? Who, by the way, he didn't really jump on to, you know, being successful until he was like 30, I believe, or 40. Yeah. So it took man some time, and I even read that he felt some type of way where everybody was, having like a career, like, you know, being bankers and stuff like that. And he felt some type of like, oh, yo, like all my peers are going to do big things, and I'm kind of like, I'm nothing. I'm a nobody. I'm not doing anything else with my life. And then you now become this guy amongst, you know, your team who create these characters, and God knows how many years later we get to see them all in the screen in the most epic, breathtaking, you know, like fights that we've ever had in superheroes. Like can you guys imagine like what his mind was like when he was like, yo, like, these are my babies, yo, I create all of this, yo, like I'm like Zeus up in here, and these are my babies, and we get to see them, and the whole world, and it's breaking records. And it's like, how was someone supposed to like breathe with that, fam?
I don't know. I feel like just from seeing Stan Lee talk and hearing stuff like that's like, he just seems like a humble guy. Like, I'm sure that when you get that feeling, you're over the moon. But
yeah,
like it's just years of him grinding and him working really hard, paying off. Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like there's no time limit on success in it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, certain man think that like people become successful overnight, but like there's years of grinding that get you there. Do you know what I'm saying? So while his peers were becoming bankers and being successful by what he had grown up and thought was the pole of success, his success, his creations will live on forever. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what we're talking about here. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
I'm just trying to put myself, and I guess I can't, but I'm a fan, so I'm always gonna, you know, try to put myself, like, you know, like we get excited with things, right? We get excited for the smallest things, you know. We jump. I mean, we do these reactions and we see one scene for like 2 seconds and we lose our mind. And this is what I'm trying to put myself, like this, like there's one thing you win in the lottery, and there is another thing, a whole nother level, a whole nother dimension of you just being Stan Lee with the other makers sitting there and seeing Infinity War, fam. Like I think I'll just like I'll become one of those characters who Thanos may disappear. I think that physically that would happen to me, like sitting on that chair watching that movie for the first time, fam. Man would just, that's it. Like I'm no longer here with you, man, and I'm done. Like, you know what I mean? Sam, your take on this?
I don't know, like Stan Lee.
You're still thinking about Barbie?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
You gotta, bro, we're talking about Stan Lee. My guy got raps.
No, man.
Cool.
It's cool.
Alright, cool. Look, we're off to the last segment of this podcast, and it couldn't be, but you know, coming from our patrons who so kindly threw a question at us. And by the way, guys, you know, if you want to get involved more with us, what we're doing, you know, whether you just want to, you know, kind of like give us content for our shows, or have requests, or stream with us, go ahead and become a patron. There's loads of tiers that you can see, and you know, look for one that fits you, or the kind of level of involvement you want to be with the fam. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Become a patron, man. Help us out. And by the way, speaking of patron, you also get to now purchase our, what we got t-shirts and hoodies,
lots of stuff. Go over there. Stickers, I don't know,
cool.
mugs,
we'll make sure that the description is below, so you guys can go check it out. Cool. So patron question, and it's, what upcoming trailer are you most excited for? Now, I've got a funny feeling we're all gonna have the same answer.
Yeah, so like I feel like this is a real easy question to answer in it, because the Avengers 4 trailer is imminent. Like any day now, the Avengers 4 trailer is going to drop. So I feel like if this is everyone's answers, we all need a second one, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't have one.
But
Like when I see, when I see this question, most excited for, like, he erases everything else that's upcoming, fam. He erases everything else, and I don't even need to name what trailers are coming, what not coming. But like, that's the first thing and the only thing that's on my mind.
the thing is, I feel like if I actually think about the Avengers 4 trailer too much, fam, my mind will explode, innit? So I'll be like, people keep asking me about it, and I just keep like, I keep trying to like push the question to the side, because I don't want to get too gassed, bruv. Like, and I already know the kind of excitement I'm gonna feel the second that notification pops up.
Jesus Christ.
Like, from Hot New Trailers, Avengers 4 trailers popped. Then I know what's gonna happen to man's Twitter. Man's every comment, every video on our channel is going to start popping up with react. Like, fam, I don't even want to think about that whole process, innit? I don't want to think about it, fam. I don't want to think about it, innit?
But do you have another one? If you
do have another one.
Go on.
Godzilla, King of the Monsters, trailer number 2. Now, outside of the superhero realm, there's very small things, that just excite me. But large monsters slapping each other with buildings and all kinds of stuff, not in the Pacific Rim universe, but in the Godzilla universe. Yo, come on, fam. And that first trailer was a madness, bruv. It was a madness. I'm just, bruv. Remember, bruv, do you remember what that trailer did to the studio, fam? Mic's broken, everything. Man had to retool the whole shebang because of that trailer, fam. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm ready for that, innit? I'm ready for that.
You know, I okay, I see where you're coming from, and okay, I give you that. I'd forgotten what that trailer did, but whenever, and this goes for everything in life, whenever something changes the course of a pathway, it's a great thing. And you just mentioned that he actually did break the mic that we went on to buy a whole proper set. You know, so that's what that trailer did, innit? It put man on the next step. You know what I'm saying? He smashed what we had. He said, yo, man, this is not good enough for me, for the trailer. Smash the thing up, and you, man, go and get a brand new equipment in it. So, yeah, man, I'll give you that. Sam?
Yeah, like you're saying, it was an easy answer. Like, I was looking through 2019 movies. Obviously, you got Spider-Man that's meant to be coming out real soon, supposedly. We just had Toy Story 4. We've also got I don't know, I'm not too sure about another Captain Marvel trailer. Obviously, the thing that's always on my mind is, when is this Avengers trailer going to drop? And I looked at the first one when it dropped, and that was like the last week of November. So if it's around the same time, I'm like,
Super Bowl.
See, look, this is all adding up, innit? It all makes sense. So I'm super excited for that. But if I have to be excited for one movie that's wrapping up and it's going to be super peak, it has to be John Wick 3, innit?
Ooh, fam.
That trailer. If we haven't reacted to a series at all that we should do, is John Wick, innit?
I hear what you're saying, but I'm not agreeing with you.
What?
Fam.
What?
The John Wick trailer.
Yes. I've seen pictures of man riding a horse, Red Dead Redemption style, bodying guys. I'm ready for this trailer, you know.
Wait, you've seen this?
There's a picture.
I'm glad. Yeah, I don't
One
need that in
picture,
my life. I don't need. And you guys know how I feel about John Wick. I don't need that in my life. I'm glad I didn't see this.
I'm glad I did.
And about all means, do not share it with me.
No, I won't. Don't worry about that. But I'm sorry. I'm ready, innit? I'm actually ready. That wasn't leaked, by the way.
It's actually
post-production photo.
Post-production.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't come across that.
John Wick drops in like March or something, innit?
Something like that.
It's soon. It's quite soon, actually.
I can't wait. That first trailer is going to be big.
I tell you. There's a trailer, but now I'm looking forward to seeing even more. And there's a trailer that came up today. I mean, there's all these. I mean, I can talk about Captain Marvel, but where, you know, Infinity War, is not, is the one and only. But there's one that caught me off guard today, and I want to see where they're taking up more. And obviously, it was just an introduction, but the Pokemon, fam, the Pokemon Detective Pikachu. I want to see more about that, fam. I want to see, because hands down, Pokemon top 3 games I've ever played. I might even hold it top 2. I can't think right now of other games I've played I loved so much. But Game Boy wise, Game Boy, Pokemon that's it. Like, number 1 takes it. It's a wrap. Like, flawless victory. So, and having this, and by the way, did any of you guys hear about this before?
Yeah, I heard about the movie
before the thing.
Yeah, before the trailer, I heard it. Bruv, come on, man, I'm on job, fam. Like, I heard about the movie before. I knew Ryan Reynolds was voicing Pikachu and all.
When did you hear about this?
Ages ago, fam. Like, when it
like
was,
a year, like months.
They were trying to get voice actors like time ago. There's like 5 people in the running. This, that, and the other.
Man heard about it ages ago.
Yeah.
But obviously, when I heard Detective Pikachu, I thought it was going to be like Pikachu in the real world. I didn't know that they was actually going to have Pikachu in a Pokemon field world. Do you know what I'm saying? I thought it was going to be more like
a Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah, like a Winnie the Pooh thing, as opposed to, oh no, we're going to Pallet Town. Do you know what I'm saying? So when I'm seeing the trailer, that's why my first reaction when they walk down the street and there's just random Pokemon, I'm like, they've disguised this very well, but then also at the same time, I don't know why they've done this. Maybe because Pikachu's got better brand recognition.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Than calling it a Pokemon movie.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
maybe that's why they went that world. They went that route. But I definitely feel like what they're going to do is use the Detective Pikachu aspect to actually bring you a Pokemon universe. And if this movie goes well, I know there's going to be mad spin-offs going every single which way and direction, fam.
No. And see, this is one of the things that I'm so happy that, and sometimes it's a bad thing, because obviously, as a member of the Cybernerds, you have to be up to date. But at the same time, I have you two, so I don't really have to rely on that. And you guys out there already know how I feel. But sometimes too much information is no good, isn't it? Sometimes, and I'm happy that I'm still grounded in sort of the old ways where social media wasn't a big thing, and whenever something was ready to come out, you get hit with it. You know what I mean? And I'm glad when stuff like this comes out, I geek the hell out. Like, no information, going in blind, bang, and then we get something like this. And Pokemon already is one of the most successful franchises in where was this from? Is it Japan or China?
Japan.
We all had the poker cards. We used to go ham on them. We all played thousands of hours on the Game Boys. At least me and Joe. Jesus Christ, the amount of away trips to Plymouth, Portsmouth, wherever, Birmingham we used to go, and man used to rotate batteries just to keep playing and swapping and evolving Pokemons and all sorts. So this franchise is already big as it is. Till this day, I don't know where they are with Pokemons. The last one I played, they had all sorts of Pokemons, different Pokemons and all sorts, and I fell off it. But if this movie is like just as successful, I don't know where we're going to be next. I think they might even bring the Pokemon cards again, and you're going to have real life adults trading out there.
I'm just letting you know it never stopped, innit?
The cards. I'm pretty sure it didn't.
Pokemon Go still going on. You got huge communities. Also, you guys know Pokemon. What's the Switch one called?
Oh, the one, yeah.
That one coming out.
The Eve Pikachu one.
That's it, you got that.
But no, where I'm coming from with the cards is that remember when we were in school, it was like an epidemic thing. It was like it was a fever, fam. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm coming from with this, because obviously I'm in schools, right? I teach in schools, and you don't see kids going crazy. You know, they cars getting confiscated by teachers because, you know, they're not supposed to have them out. Fam, I've seen some real life stuff when it came down to these cards, fam.
Well, I'll blame mobiles for that now, innit? Because everything's all digital rather than physical, innit? So
yeah, but that's the thing. Like, and we live in an era where it's like, you know, trending, and if something is trending, people are going to get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can real life bring these cards back. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if this movie's gonna bang. So we'll see. I'm actually excited to see more from it. I want to see the battle. I want to see some Pokemons going in.
that's what I want to see as well. I want to see some moves.
Dragonite, Charizard.
Please stop.
I want to see them dragons. I've always been a dragon guy, so I want to see them dragons going in, fam.
I would say at least one legendary. At least one.
Fam, man saw a post of Articuno, fam.
But you know what that means? That someone captured Articuno, fam.
Dude.
Like, think about that, innit?
Fam, like see what's going on right now.
I said it during the reaction, fam. This makes me really consider getting a Wii for.
I thought we was getting it. I'm getting
Not
it.
Wii, sorry, a Switch.
The Switch.
For the.
I was going to get it already. I'm just waiting for Black Friday.
Is it Pokemon Let's Go? Is that the one it's called?
But listen, I need to know more about this Pokemon game, fam, because I've been waiting for an open world MMO type Pokemon game my whole life since I got Pokemon Blue. Do you know what I'm saying? I need the game to be real, fam.
I'll tell you what, after this we will do some research and but I thought you was gonna get. I mean, I'm getting it just for the fact, because the way he looked, I was like, God damn.
I'm still on Vita Island, innit?
Bruv,
like,
that thing is dead. That thing never.
Yeah.
Fam,
Please,
fam.
fam,
For months, I saw you and Sam going through the PS of the month, and every month, maybe one or two where man was happy about having a Vita game. Everything else, dead.
Do you know what? Yeah. I feel like I might have just made a decision. Do you know what I'm gonna do? I've got 3 Vita games left in it.
Oh, for you to complete?
To complete, I might complete them and then retire the Vita, you know, and then get the Switch. That might make sense, fam.
By the way, I think it's on the 29th of this month. That is Black Friday. So
yeah. Just after Thanksgiving. And shout out to all of our American listeners.
Mad. All right, cool.
So what I know about Pokemon Let's Go anyway is that it's a remake of Pokemon Yellow. Obviously, because you got Pikachu and
that's for the Switch one.
The Switch. So it's not, obviously right now, when you're counting older Pokemon, it's like 6th generation of Pokemon. You got 802 Pokemon out in the world.
800
in the Switch one.
No. That's what I'm saying. In the Switch one, you only got the first
151.
Yeah, the first gen, and then out in the if you get all the games together, you got 802.
Can I transfer DS Pokemon to Switch?
That's the thing though, because I've been looking up, and then it only seems like it benefits people who are playing Pokemon Go.
So this is like Go to this new thing.
Yeah, basically.
This isn't from the handhelds. Like, I can't bring my starting 5 from Pokemon Red.
Look here.
No.
Man's trying to go back to. Wait,
I've still got those games. I've still got all of that.
I still got them too.
I've still got all of that, bro.
I even have the Game Boy.
Bro, I was playing Black and Moon not too long ago, fam. I've got these things for. Bruv, listen, I told you, I will continue to say this. Pokemon is the greatest game ever made, fam. Ever. It beats everything, fam. I just need it to be in Sony's hands, innit? I just need that Red Dead Redemption Pokemon game, innit? Like,
wow.
Before, I always used to struggle to find the game that it needs to be like, but it needs to be Red Dead Redemption, fam. See them random encounters when you're just on Red Dead Redemption?
Jesus.
Just let a Bulbasaur run up on me when I'm out in the wilderness hunting. Let that happen to me, please. That's all I need, innit? That's where I'm at, fam.
That's where you're at. That's where you're at, G.
Man said one of the cutest monsters they're out. Do you imagine coming across something like Onyx or... I don't even want to mention the ugly ones either.
Are you mad, fam?
Are you
mad?
Like, it won't come after your Pokemon, it'll come after you, innit?
Bruv, you know what?
You be in a Pokemon hospital.
I'll tell you, one of the Pokemon used to give me a hard time. Cypher, fam.
But oh my lord,
bruv, that Pokemon was serious, fam.
too much.
Do you know what? One of my favorite Pokemon, and this is why I love Pokemon. This is why I love Pokemon, because Cypher used to Cypher's one of those Pokemon I always used to like. I'd always wanted to own, but they were never very good. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, because there was a bug type that had too many weaknesses. Yeah, but then they was like, this is what we're gonna do. 2 generation games next, we're gonna include the metal coat. Trade man with the metal coat and you get Sizer. Metal and Bug. This guy is a madman, bruv. Madman.
Fam.
Bruv, listen. I'll go buy Switch right now.
And he came in red too. Damn, bruv. Listen.
Stop talking to me about this.
Listen,
It's nowhere.
Look, with Joe's definitely buying the Switch now, so there's no other way to go back to it. And that concludes our podcast for this week. Again, a special one. We want to thank Mr. Stanley for giving us this world that we're so grateful to be part of, and that we are actually able to create content for other people. Give us a bit of our world, a bit of our madness, a bit of our banter, also a bit of disclaimers as well. Matter of fact, quite a lot of disclaimers in it, because man, stay getting disclaimers out here. But guys, thank you for locking in, and make sure to subscribe, comment, like. Guys, it helps us out a lot, and you already know what to do. There's plenty of stuff out there for you to do with the Cyber Nerds. I'm Raven, your GS.
I'm saying Mr. Blitz Tech.
I'm Joe, 1/3 of the Cyber Nerds.
And we'll see you in the next time.
Peace.